Now look at this list. It's really sad that Billy is swimming at the bottom. But you shouldn't give up on him because there's a positive truth about Billy Kid. One of the main reasons why I started playing Zenless Zone Zero is because of this cool and funny robot, Billy Kid. And the other was... But it's a bummer that Billy's kit isn't breaking the top tier. Well, that is to be expected since Billy is one of the free characters that we can get early in the game. And he is so fun to play as, shooting the Ethereals at a comfortable range and spinning him like a Beyblade. Although his gunslinging kit works inversely, the game's lore is actually hinting that Billy is stronger than we think. There is a 100% possibility that we will get an S form of Billy in the future. And this is what the story of ZZZ is hiding from us. But before that though, if you like Billy as much as he loved the Starlight Knight, then like this video and join Otaku Defined for more Zenless Zone Zero. Billy Kid is actually way stronger than we think. First, let's look at what we know so far about Billy. It's revealed in his bio and the story that Billy is an AI construct who passed the Forbidden Fruit test. While that test doesn't really exist, there is a real-life counterpart to the Forbidden Fruit test, and that is the Imitation Game, also known as a Turing test. The Imitation Game, created by Alan Turing, is a test of a machine's ability to exhibit human intelligence. The test involves 3 players, where player C, the interrogator, asks questions to player A and B and determine which one of them is a human. There have been multiple AIs in the real world that passed the Turing test. One of the popular ones is Eugene Guzman, which managed to fool the interrogator by sticking to the personality coded in its system, that being a 13-year-old boy. With Billy passing the Forbidden Fruit test, this means that Billy's intelligence far exceeds that of a simple machine. Something that piqued the interest of Grace Howard, who has been working on her machine's AI. This can mean that Billy is far more intelligent than we think, as there had been multiple instances where Billy plays his childlike personality card to avoid uncomfortable situations.
Wait a minute! My hair! It's drooping!
Where Billy would often reference the Starlight Knight.
My predictions were out-predicted!
You big dummy! The only thing they'd be playing for you are the credits!
Don't tell me this guy's a fan of the Starlight Knights too!
But it's kind of ironic that Billy is a huge fan of a media about superheroes who stands for justice, considering that he was named after a gunslinging outlaw of the Wild West, Billy the Kid, who is infamous for killing 21 men. And this is not just a coincidence on miHoYo's part, neither the lore team behind ZZZ. Billy Kid's design, namesake, and bio are all woven together to tell us players how stronger the real Billy Kid is, and how dark his past was that it needs to be hidden right now for a future story. I mean, they really added that in his bio. So what the story so far doesn't tell us is that Billy is a former member of the faction called Sons of Caledon. This can actually be seen in Billy's design, specifically his jacket, where at the back we can see a boar emblem that resembles a symbol of the Sons of Caledon. But wait, it may be the same animal, but that doesn't mean it's the same symbol, right? Well, looking at the agents that are available in version 1.0, Lucy and Piper, who are members of the Sons of Caledon, both of them don't wear this symbol. Even Lucy's jacket has a different design from the Sons of Caledon. Lighter, who is also part of the Sons of Caledon, whenever we see him in the overworld, also has a different emblem worn on his jacket. And Piper doesn't wear any jacket just because. Not only that, but the boar has a significance as to why it was chosen as the animal for the Sons of Caledon. The boar motif came from the Greek mythology about the Caledonian boar that the goddess Artemis sent to wreak havoc in Caledon. And Billy's jacket isn't the only thing connecting his past with the Sons of Caledon. In one of Billy's trust events, where he talks about a motorist who would race people at night, he showed interest as to who the mystery rider is, thinking that it might be the Starlight Knight. But as we progress to the trust event, Enzo reveals more information about the Knight Rider. Enzo described him as having white hair and wears a red scarf, which made Billy interrupt before Enzo can drop the name of the mystery biker, basically describing for us how Billy looked during his days as a biker in the Outer Ring. And so far, the Sons of Caledon is heavily presented as a biker gang and coincidentally rides in the same place Billy did before he became an agent for the Gentle House. So, what should we expect from this, knowing that Billy Kid is a former biker of the Sons of Caledon? First, this gives us the whole theme for the Cunning Hares. It's apparent now that each agent of the Cunning Hares are former members of different factions, with Nekomata being the most confirmed one story-wise by revealing that she is an ex-member of the Red Fang Gang. We also noticed that both Soldier 11 and Anbi have a lot of similarities, from their movesets, looks, and even in Soldier 11's promotional video confirming that Anbi played a part in her training, making Anbi a former member of the Oval Squad. But not much is known for both Nicole and Billy. What the story has told us so far is that Nicole was an orphan who was supposedly adopted by a renowned family but mysteriously disappeared. And Billy passed a forbidden fruit test and he used to work in the Outer Ring. In future stories, especially involving the Sons of Caledon, we can expect that Billy will play a huge role. And that will be the point where we get Billy's S-rank form. I know, a lot of people often ask for new forms in gacha games, but come on, it's an epic way of revamping a character and there's nothing wrong with that. Look at Dan Heng in Star Rail or even the numerous forms of Kiana. It's always awesome to get a stronger version of a character that you like. And basing on what we know so far about Billy, it will be one of the better S-rank forms. But how powerful will his S-rank be? Well, we see that Billy is so powerful that he scares other Hollow Raiders. From Billy's stress event in the Hollow Zero, a Hollow Bandit recognized him.
Why does this robot look so familiar? Red jacket, white hair. Something seems missing though.
Hang on. Don't tell me you're the legendary...
That's right. You're looking at none other than a Starlight Knight! You know the old saying, bad guys always die because they start monologuing? Sometimes you should just keep your mouth shut.
Ah! Run!
And this dude is deathly afraid when he realized who Billy really is. So we can tell from this that Billy's past includes ruthless acts that made him a legendary horror story passed around Hollow Raiders to avoid him at all costs. And remember, he was named after a dangerous outlaw infamous for killing scores of people. And we can expect that we will see a future S-rank Billy, complete with a red scarf and a motorcycle. I'll surely pull for that character and I'm really happy how Zenless Zone Zero is setting up the Cunning Hares, and quite frankly, it makes me excited for future updates. They really know how to make awesome characters like in anime series, and speaking of which, have you noticed how more and more anime games are turning into gacha? Well, here's a video explaining how that came to be. If you want more content about how awesome the characters are in Zenless Zone Zero, then like this video and join Otako Defiant. This is Math, and stay awesome, my dudes.
Rawr, rawr.
Anby, don't bite my hand. You're gonna hurt your teeth.